Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit, and I thought I'd put together a quick vlog for you just to keep you up to date on what's going on. You probably noticed the gaps, let's just put it that way, in the content over the last few months, and of course you kind of know why. And maybe you've heard the good news, which is that we have got to the point where the cancer is gone, at least for the moment. I'm well aware, of course, of the fact that cancer has a tendency of popping back up again. It depends. We'll see. If we get in 5 years and it doesn't come back, chances are it doesn't come back at all. But for right now, of course, there's good reason to celebrate, as both CT scans revealed that there is nothing there. So after 2 big sessions of chemotherapy, radiation, a couple of surgeries, we're hopefully in the clear, at least for the time being. Gonna have to keep things in check, of course. Need to take CT scans and various other unpleasant things every year, but they're pretty damn confident that we've got rid of it, which is fantastic. So, big thanks to everyone that stuck around during that. I know my content output has been dreadfully low. People are used to, like, 10 videos a week, and they're getting more like 3. And that's not exactly what I hoped to be able to do, but I didn't really know what to expect when we went into this, and exactly just how stressful and how much of a problem it would be, and how much damage it would do to the body, and how fatiguing the whole bloody thing is. It's actually very frustrating. I hate, absolutely hate, not feeling like I can work. I really, really hate that. And the reason, of course, would be that I feel like I've got a very lucky job, and I do. And as a result, I like to work hard at this job because I know just how competitive YouTube is, and if I got where I wanted to go, which I have, then why on earth would I ever want to throw that away? Well, of course, the answer is I would not. Well, this week I've had my parents with me, so I haven't been producing much content because obviously I very rarely get to see my parents since they live in the UK, so they flew over for a visit, and they'll be leaving on Monday. And once that's happened, I think we're going to be going back to just trying to put content out and trying to ramp up production once again. I've missed so many games over the last 8 months that I wanted to cover, and there's so many more coming out. You know, we've got Mortal Kombat, and we have GTA pretty much coming out next week, so there's a lot of stuff to be done there, and there's a ton of really interesting looking indie games that I want to have a look at as well, and I haven't had the chance to do either of those things, so that has frustrated me to no end. But I do dearly hope that I'll be able to get back to that and get things back to where they should be, and hopefully to the level of content production you guys expected. But regardless, I'd like to again thank you for your patience throughout this whole thing. I do have one more surgery that needs to be done. That's going to put me in hospital for a couple of days. This is to basically reverse a lot of the stuff they had to do to my insides, which seem to want to be outside of my body at the moment, which is not exactly great. I have a abdominal wall hernia, which is making things very difficult, and various other nasty things that have a tendency to happen, and chemotherapy weakens a lot of parts of your body, and as a result they have a tendency to fail. So that needs to be fixed up, but once all that's done, and once I've gone through the reversal surgery, I should be back on the convention circuit. I'm going to E3, and I'll also be heading out to DragonCon, and we're going to do 3 days of Gamescom. I'm not going to do the whole thing, because frankly it's ridiculous, but we'll be heading to Cologne straight after the end of CoxCon. I'll be in the UK for that, and then I'm going to jump on over to Cologne, do a little bit of coverage there, and stick to the sort of format that you guys liked from the previous packs, where we stick mostly to post-commentary, we focus on AAAs, and we also try and put games on our radar for when they actually come out. I'm not abandoning indie games by any stretch of the imagination. I do want to know when those games are actually going to come out, and I found, of course, that people are much more interested in videos of games that are available for them to buy, as opposed to games that are not. But there is an exception there, and that's with AAA games, with games that have a lot of hype. For instance, the Killing Floor 2 video has 400,000 views. I mean, that's actually way more than I expected. That's because, of course, there's a lot of interest in Killing Floor 2. So if I do early coverage, I need to pick and be a little bit careful about which games I do, and everything else will stick to doing around launch coverage, because it frankly just works a lot better for pretty much everybody. We get more views, the developer's happier because it increases sales, assuming the game is actually good. Everyone's a winner in that particular regard. DragonCon isn't really for coverage. We're going to be doing a co-optional live there, so we'll probably try and stream that, and if we can't, we'll just film it and put it up later. But outside of that, we're mostly just going to have a little bit of fun, and of course, Gamescom is work, 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 as it always is. Outside of that, It really is simply a case of trying to get everything back to normal, doing more research streams, doing more WTF is, covering more games, doing more 15 minutes of game, getting content patch back on the road, assuming that there's anything worth talking about. That is my grand and complex business strategy. Make more videos. Not too difficult, is it? Would like to remind people, of course, that we have restarted Shoutcraft Clan Wars Season 2. For those who do not know about that, it's over on youtube.com/TotalBiscuit for the VODs. We've done 2 matches so far. There's 5 more planned for this month. And that's streamed live at mlg.tv/shoutcraft, which is also where you can find the schedule and consistent reruns of previous episodes for those that happen to have missed them. It's an exciting Team League format for those who are maybe a little bit casual when it comes to StarCraft 2. Maybe they like just watching something interesting. Well, we've got really wacky and interesting maps. We've got Legacy of the Void being played. We've got 2v2s. We've got maps that have giant cannons on them. We've got maps that have healing shrines and line-of-sight blocking forests and double gas bases and all sorts of crazy stuff. It's pretty exciting to watch because we've got a lot of top teams involved in that particular format, so I would definitely appreciate it if you checked out my StarCraft channel at youtube.com/TotalBiscuit, and that is, of course, where you will find the Shoutcraft VODs, which are all spoiler-free, so you can just watch them, and you'll have no idea who's going to win. I think there's really a lot else to say, frankly. I'm trying to avoid too much Twitter drama when at all possible. I've instigated myself a little rule that says, unless it's very positive, it's just gotta be like a link to something interesting. I'm not allowed to engage in any negative behavior on Twitter. We'll see whether or not that happens. Yeah, I'm so tempted just to delete my Twitter. I really am. I think a lot of people are at this stage. It's like Twitter is just awful. Oh, God. The worst social media invention in history. I mean, it's a prime candidate for taking people out of context. It's a prime candidate for dogpiling people, shame culture, outrage culture, extremism. It's pretty disgraceful. Unless, of course, you want to track what the members of One Direction are doing and what they had for breakfast, in which case it's a very useful tool. Ultimately, it's a giant waste of everybody's time. It just causes people a bunch of stress, so why even bother? That time could be spent playing more video games, could be spent making more videos, could be spent doing something positive, and if it's not spent doing that, then frankly, as far as I am concerned, that is a massive injustice. So let's just try not to do that. It's difficult. It's actually very difficult to disengage with that sort of thing. But you can do it. It is entirely possible. I'd recommend it to everybody, myself included. So that's current situation. Cancer's gone, trying to recover, still got a hole in my stomach, still got muscles and pieces of intestine where they're not supposed to be. That needs to be fixed. Once that's fixed, I'm hoping to be at 100%. What else can I say? Other than thank you. Because you guys have stuck around, and it's been 8 months of very irregular content. In many cases, questionable levels of quality content. But the channel did not die, and that is pretty much down to you guys, because you decided, hey, yeah, we're going to stick around and we're going to continue to support the content, even if there isn't a great degree of it. There will be again, that I can promise. It's just going to take a little bit of time to ramp that back up. There are so many interesting games on the front page of Steam that deserve a look. Although Domestic Dog Simulator is not on the list, there's plenty of others. Plenty of other video games that don't involve peeing on lampposts and vending machines. All those other games we could absolutely spend some time trying out, and we most assuredly will. Thanks again for watching, folks, and I'll see you next time.